Hello, my name is Matt Staub, and I am here giving my presentation on my Legacies website from my Google in Education class. Getting going, my Legacy website, my whole idea is they're going to answer this question right here. How do we in the 21st century look back at the legacy of former presidents? So as you can see, the topic I've chosen is Presidents of the United States. With this Legacy website, hopefully we can do many different things, many different topics for people with legacies like athletes or kings or whatnot. We could figure that out. And the audience, the people I'm going to be teaching this to, the people are going to be doing this, my students, I'm hoping for a junior and senior class, maybe sophomores, but with a lot of the discussion and higher level items, juniors and seniors will be the main target I'm shooting for. Goals for this. So what's going to happen? The students will construct and present a Google site outlining the life and accomplishments of a president before, during, and after their presidency. That's quite a worded question. Basically, they'll be creating an autobiography of a president using a Google site. So using a Google site, writing about the president, who they are, what they did, all the great things that go into that. And that's something that I'll show in my example for the kids. And then they'll be identifying the legacy of their president by constructing a survey on a Google forum that will be taken by their peers, along with doing their own research outside of class. This is something that they'll be creating, sending out to a kid like, hey, what's your opinion about Abraham Lincoln? And you might have a kid going, I loved Abe Lincoln, freed the slaves, did great things. And you can have another kid going, I did not like Abe Lincoln because my family's from the South and he ruined everything for me. You know, you get many different things for these kids. And I'm hoping that that's the kind of the goal that they get. So along with you, with the students, trying to identify what the legacy was of their president, they can also get from their peers what their opinion is. And then finally, they're going to construct a quiz using a Google form that relates to the Google site. This quiz is going to be a quick 5-question quiz. I'm going to assign 2 points per quiz, 2 points per question, so it's going to be like 10 points. And how well the question was written, how well their peers did taking the quizzes. That's something showing their ability to present and also the ability of their peers to listen at that point. I apologize. All right, so the overview, here's what it's going to look like. I'm going to start the entire thing with a discussion about what it means to have a legacy, what it means for us today to look back at these people, what it means for our grandkids to look back at us. These many different things, identifying a legacy, and what it is, what the legacy itself is. And then I'm going to give a lecture using an autobiographical Google site I've created about George Washington, talking about George, what his impact in the French and Indian War, Revolutionary War, all the way up to his presidency, before presidency, post presidency, things that he said, things that he wrote that have really impacted us all the way up till World War One. And then we'll have a discussion about it, a discussion about all those things, why he's considered the father of our country. I mean, that's quite a huge thing, huge legacy that he left behind. Why is he on Mount Rushmore? I mean, those things. Do you think he should be there? I mean, these are questions that I want to get my kids to think about in my classroom. I'll be doing an introduction to this research project, probably spending a day telling, hey, groups of 2, these are the technologies, Google site, Google forum, what you can do. Selecting U.S. presidents from John Adams all the way up to Bill Clinton, excluding George Washington, and then excluding George W. Bush, Barack Obama, and Donald Trump, because it's too soon to identify their legacies. And then I'll be asking those questions as well. Hey, how far out from someone do we have to be to identify the legacy of someone? And they'll be given time in class and outside of class to do research. Technologies I've decided to use for this, Google Sites. I love Google Sites. Since I've started using it for this class, I've done multiple projects using Google Sites. And this would be the medium for their presentation. And it'll be an autobiography about the president, identifying these different things. They could put videos in there. They can put pictures in there. They will put pictures in there. They can do many different things. And you can have 2 people working on a Google site at one time. And then they'll be doing a Google forum. They're going to use this Google forum to identify the legacy of their president from their peers, asking them questions. Hey, what do you think about this? Oh, like JFK, like not JFK. Yeah, JFK. What do you think what JFK would have done if he didn't get shot? Many different things like that. Asking peers, asking parents, ask their grandparents, ask faculty, ask staff. There are so many people that they can talk about. They can send this Google form out so they can have it nicely in a concise area when they go back to look at it to use it to make their legacy page on their Google site. Students will create a quiz that'll be taken by their peers about the president. Like I said, quick 5-question quiz. Hey, like Abe Lincoln, what do you think it was important about Abe Lincoln being born in Illinois? Different things like that. Emancipation Proclamation, stuff like that. We could ask kids about questions about Abe Lincoln. They'll be creating the quizzes. I'll be reviewing the quizzes. I'll be in on that. I'll also be in on the Google sites. I mean, I can be a part of that, look at it, and tell them, hey, here's something you can do. Here's something you should get rid of. So these technologies, what I love about Google is it's so editable and everyone can jump in and really play a role. Collaboration, this is a huge part for my project. They'll be working in pairs while doing the research. There'll be 2 people working on a Google site at one time. I'll also be there helping them, guiding them. And then the second point, I can't stress it enough, talking with their classmates about the presidents. This is something I like to call a din-din conversation, where they feel free and open to talk to the entire class about legacies and things about these presidents. And it's not like these kids don't know it. They're taking your surveys, they're taking your quizzes. And that's something that I'll be watching for. And I'll be really hoping that this will be something that they can talk about at home. Finally, my evaluating success. I'm going to have a summative assessments. The summative assessments, we're going to have 2 rubrics, one looking at the Google site and another one about their presentation. Those 2 rubrics will be put together to come up with their final score on their project itself. I'll be looking at the outcome of the quizzes. I'm thinking I'm going to take the quizzes and make like a mean average, like how your peers did on them. But if we have like someone like totally bomb it, I'll just not include that in my mean average. Or just how the quizzes came out to be. I mean, how the kids ended up doing on them. And next, formative assessments. This is me looking, noticing what you're doing, giving you participation grades for class during the legacy discussions, during our research, during your conversations, watching all these things, identifying, yep, they are doing the work, looking at that stuff, helping you, checking the Google sites and whatnot. So these formative assessments, it's a lot going to be just making sure that it's a environment where they feel comfortable learning and research is actually getting done. And last but not least, I'm going to have a survey at the very end, a forum talking about, hey, what could I do better? What could be better about this project? What would you like to add? What would you like to take away? And then also, what other possibilities for legacies that can be there? Eventually, I'm going to run out of presidents. Be like, oh, I heard all these before. Well, I can do these more often because in more different subject areas. So that'll be absolutely fascinating.